To Goodison Park next, where Everton's board of directors have been advised not to attend the game against fellow strugglers Southampton because of a real and credible threat to their safety. Everton fan groups were also planning a sit-in protest after the game. Your commentator, Stephen Wyeth.
So are you a bit worried about the off-field noise perhaps filtering through to your dressing room pre-match?
No, I'm completely focused on the fact of what we want to do on the pitch, and the off-field noise is there, and things that we can control as players and as staff is to try and prepare right and do the right thing, and today we got beaten in the game, so yeah.
It's a wonderful week, 3 wins, it doesn't happen often at any level, 3 big wins against 2 away games and then playing Man City at home. It's a big week for the club, and we're really pleased, Performances have been building, and that's the thing, I just keep telling people, performances have been building, but today we showed so many sides to our game, and I'm just really proud of the group today.
So none on the board were here today because of safety concerns. What was your reaction to that news earlier on today?
It's a difficult period. There's so much passion at this club, for various reasons, and the right reasons. Everybody here at the club wants the best for the club, and of course over years we've come in this direction that now we're in relegation battle last year, relegation battle this year, so I think it's as much as I need to say on it tonight.
Big physical week, an emotional week I think for all of us to feel like we've finally turned a corner, and today was a huge step. I think first time in 25 years we've won here, up against it at half time, but I think we showed what we're about and what the manager's given us in these last few weeks.
Well, I wouldn't swap him for anything. Since day one to come in, and the conversation we had 10 minutes after he found out he wasn't in the England squad for the World Cup, and that was the biggest bonus I could have, because I've had him for 2 months now and been able to work with him and encourage him, and he's a wonderful player, wonderful athlete, and probably the best technician in the Premier League.
Yeah, let's start with Ward-Prowse. Quite some praise there, and in many ways it was a double-barrel performance in both senses.
Yeah, he's always been a very good player, Ward-Prowse, and we normally see him in a deeper role, but today we're seeing him more in an offensive role in that number 10. And for Southampton, it worked a treat, because every time they went forward, he was excellent. Always picked up these little spaces in the box there. And it's the timing of his pass, the weight of his pass, and this was a warning, getting into that little bit of space, having another shot. But this running off the midfielder, then having the composure to just get it on one side. Some might say it was a bit of luck. I'm saying it's skill. Brilliant technician, gives the keepers the eyes, goes the other way. And Everton did quite well in that first half, but in the second half, it was all about James Ward-Prowse. But terrible free kick to give away from Gordon. I mean, his wrong side, he come off the bench, looked like he was sulking a little bit. But that is wonderful. One of the
from an Everton
best
perspective, I mean, it's a great dip.
Yeah, Mikalenko wants to get back on the line. That's probably why Pickford doesn't dive, but he's not got the time to do it. No. And, when someone's got the technique of Ward-Prowse, it was always going to be difficult.
It was a bad day in football sense for Everton. That's 4 straight defeats at home in a row now in the Premier League. And it was also a sad day at Goodison, wasn't it? Because you can understand there's irritations, you can understand the problems, the frustrations of supporters, but there's a line that perhaps you can't cross. And it seems to me, Ian, it's very sad when the board are told to stay at home for their own safety, and that board includes, of course, Graham Sharp, a legend of the football.
Even we've seen there, it says Ken Wright out. We know what Bill Kenwright's been through to actually help the club, and for him to not be able to go there must be a very sad day for him. When you hear what happened to Denise Barrett, Baxendale, that's abhorrent behaviour. I believe that, putting a headlock. And you think to yourself, yes, I believe that, yes, if you've got a right to, you have got a right to protest if you want to. Yeah. Absolutely, you should
peacefully,
though. Peacefully, absolutely peacefully, because what Everton are going through, it will be very frustrating for the fans. But then protesting in that way and intimidation and that's not going to help. Even if you're talking about trying to get new owners in, what are they going to say? They want to come and manage the club
do you think that will affect the players' performance and the whole feeling at the club and the manager?
I always found, and I have to speak for myself, that once I got on there, you just dealt with what you're dealing with. But when you look at Everton, they seem to be all over the place at the moment. When you look at the games they're losing as well, relegation rivals like Leicester, Bournemouth, Wolves, Southampton, that's the problem.
You worry for them?
Absolutely worried for them. Yeah. Absolutely worried for them.
I do worry. Yes, rightly there about, will it affect the players? I think it could do. You see
Yerry
Mina fronting up with the fans, and he's got a lot of accolades for that on socials tonight. And I did a similar thing with Aston Villa when I was there. We was going through a bad time, and it doesn't help the players at all. They have a right to protest, like you say, but all it does is put more pressure, and it does become very difficult.
Yeah. Okay.